We just had a recent decision from the D.C. Circuit Court about the CFPB and around the structure in terms of the director of it, and this is likely going to go to the Supreme Court. Any thoughts on that decision and the structure and where you think the makeup of the CFPB should go?
It is, in fact, a great victory for those of us who did the CFPB because it leaves it fully in place with all the powers. I mean, including a single director. Now, I, in my own view, I think it would be untenable for a director of an agency like that to stay in office in the face of hostility from the president. So I don't think in practice it makes that much difference. I am interested, constitutionally, I guess, Gene, did you have a fixed term? And you were
so just for those who don't know, he's talking to Gene Ludwig, the former comptroller of currency.
Here's what I don't understand. The controller of the currency is a single official with a 5-year fixed term. That's the same as the CFPB. So if, in fact, the CFPB structure is unconstitutional, so is the control of the currency. And I got to say to a lot of the banks here, my guess is you care more about who the control of the currency is than who the head of the CFPB is. CFPB may be a pain in the ass, but the control can be a heart attack. So, I mean, I think I am just interested in the legal situation there. Maybe somebody ought to go sue the controller. I would say this, given that, I'd be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if it was overturned, but it wouldn't bother me if it wasn't. You had a vindication of the structure, of the powers, of the autonomy from the appropriations process. I think the CFPB will continue to function. Very little change from before.
And if Hillary Clinton is elected president, do you think the CFPB is safe, that it won't be dismantled?
Oh, I don't think it'll be dismantled. Well, it's going to be very hard for them to dismantle it, especially just as the London whale torpedoed the effort to say that the American regulators couldn't regulate the overseas derivative activities of American banks. The CFPB is more likely to be renamed for John Stump than it is to be dismantled. I mean, the role of the CFPB in that is such a vindication of the need for CFPB. And part of it is this, and there's no criticism of the bank regulators, but that's the kind of thing that was more, people focus on consumers do that. That's not a major structural issue. That's not a safety and soundness issue. So by the way, if you will notice, while the Republicans, once they came to power, have repeatedly voted to repeal health care, they've never voted to repeal the financial reform bill. Never. They've gone at some of the edges. It's just too popular. They don't talk much about it. And I think the most popular part of it is the CFPB. But with Hillary Clinton, I mean, if Hillary Clinton's there, and I assume this is going to be the case, she wins 4 more years at least. I think at this point, any rational entity in the financial service industry said, okay, let's learn how to live with this. And I do think that to the extent that there was a pretty explicit buy-in to the basic structure, you will then be able to get specifically, yeah, no, let's change this, let's move that. This one ought to be a little different, some of the targets and some of the other things.